Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be comparing Xero versus Zoho Books, which is the better accounting software when it comes to managing your bookkeeping and accounting in your small business. That's what we're going to be breaking down here in today's video. And again, if you do want to check out either of the companies mentioned, whether it be Xero or Zoho Books, you can go ahead and check out those links down below in the video description if you do want to go ahead and check them out and follow along. Again, some of the links in the description are affiliate links, which is a great way to help out and support the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the comparison. Again, Zoho and Xero. So in my opinion, and I have tested both of these softwares, I've also done tutorials on them as well, and I mentioned them a lot in my best of list. They are two of the most popular accounting softwares after you're talking about like QuickBooks or FreshBooks. Especially QuickBooks really is probably the number one most popular. After that, Xero is quite popular as well, and even Zoho Books as well. These are some of the most popular accounting softwares, but there are some key differences that you do want to understand between the two and whether or not one might be a better fit for you over the other. So we're also going to be diving into pricing in this video too, getting into which one might be better for you. So in a nutshell, as a quick overview, I would say generally speaking, Xero is better for people who are maybe going to be outsourcing this to accountants or bookkeepers. Maybe if you have someone on staff, or maybe if you're looking to have an external third party person do them for you. I would say Xero is just more popular, and they even have a whole suite of their whole accountant and bookkeeper network that you can use. Whereas, Zoho is a little bit more, especially, Zoho Books specifically is a little bit more under the radar. It's not necessarily as popular, especially in the accounting and bookkeeping community. QuickBooks is probably most popular there, just speaking about that, but Xero is quite popular as well. So people will be more familiar with it, and just the way that the pricing structure works too, it is a little bit more better suited for people who are going to be outsourcing their bookkeeping and accounting. Again, if you're maybe coming from other softwares as well, trying to compare like, oh, maybe you want to switch to Xero or Zoho, you can import your data to either of these companies as well when you're looking to import your financial data. Now let's quickly go ahead and dive into pricing. Now again, before we get into pricing is always subject to change depending on when you're watching this video, may be different, but I always have to say that disclaimer here because pricing is always changing like every single day. But I will say, generally speaking, as well, Zoho does have a free version. So that is one thing above Xero, where Xero does have a free trial. They don't actually have a free version of the software. So that is something worth keeping in mind. If you're looking for just a free accounting software, you'll have to go with a platform like Zoho Books if you're looking for something completely free. However, of course, that comes with a catch, with a caveat, is that if you are going for the completely free version, it is limited to businesses with annual revenues under 50,000 USD. So if you're over that 50,000, you can't use the free version anyway. But if you're under the 50,000, maybe you're a beginner, cool. But if you're over that, then you do need to go with their paid plans, which do actually get more expensive than Xero. So Xero is cheaper on the early plan, and just generally as their plans go up, it is cheaper compared to Zoho when you're looking at the standard, professional, or premium plans versus their early, growing, and established plans. With Xero versus Zoho Books. So that is something worth keeping in mind. If you are going to be on a paid plan, it is cheaper with Xero over Zoho Books on their paid plans. Again, if you're just looking for a free version, again, like I mentioned, they do have a free version on Zoho Books. They do not on Xero, other than a free trial, which their free trial is a pretty decent option if you're just looking to test things out. Now, in terms of the actual features of the software, I'm not going to be getting into the super nitty-gritty details of like every single thing within the software. I would recommend that you maybe just try out the free trials on each of them to try and get into like the specific nitty-gritty details. As far as a overview between the two, what I like, what I dislike, I'd say that Xero is a lot simpler for you to understand. However, one of the downsides to Xero compared to something like Zoho Books is you are limited in Xero just to double entry accounting. If you're unfamiliar with what that terminology means compared to single entry is just looking at, income, expenses, net profit. That's all you get with single entry. With double entry, you're actually going to be accounting for the balance sheet within your business so that you'll actually see, okay, this money went from this account to the other account. And double entry means you're going to have a, positive figure and a negative figure so that they balance out to zero, right? And hence the name Xero, right? So zero is like after it's all, balanced out. So it does force you to do double entry. So it is a little bit more complicated, a little bit more of a learning curve. Compared to Zoho Books, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can just do single entry just to get your net profit figures and to just get your income and expenses figures, which for a lot of people, if you're looking for a more simple bookkeeping platform, maybe that's all that you need. But if you do want, again, a more comprehensive accounting platform, you can do double entry on Zoho Books as well. So you could do that there, but I just figured I would mention that you are limited to double entry on Xero when you're doing your accounting. Now, in addition to the accounting features, one of the other things I do really like about Xero compared to Zoho Books is that, again, it is just very simple to understand in terms of their charts and adding things in. Their charts are, fairly easy to understand when you're comparing managing your bank account, your transactions, accepting things in the door, like doing your bank reconciliations. Everything is just a little bit cleaner and easier to understand than where Zoho Books kind of gets a little bit more advanced in terms of how you can set things up. You can still keep things quite simple in Zoho Books if you want to. It's just that there's a lot more flexibility and connecting things in Zoho Books, so it might be maybe just a little bit too complicated for someone who just wants something simple. If they just want to manage the accounting, and that's really all that you need, then Xero might be a better option for you when you're looking at that over Zoho Books. Zoho is also part of the whole Zoho network in terms of all the other softwares they offer. So if you're interested in something where you can connect it to a CRM platform, you can connect it to inventory management and all the other Zoho products, then Zoho Books might be better for you. They do also have invoicing, expenses, inventory tracking. Now these are technically separate softwares, so do keep that in mind. Some of them are free or some of them are paid add-ons. So it is worth keeping in mind there, but you can go with a Zoho One for an integrated software suite. That's just something that doesn't exist on the Xero because Xero is, again, just focused purely on accounting software, whereas Zoho and then the whole Zoho ecosystem beyond just Zoho Books has a lot of other software options. So maybe if you do want more flexibility for adding other features to your software, to manage your business, then maybe it would be worth going with something like Zoho. I have done other separate videos as well on a lot of Zoho's other softwares if you do want to learn more. Again, I even have a full tutorial as well going through the basics of Zoho Books if you want to check that out too, just to see what it looks like on the inside. But yeah, they also have payroll too. The thing with Xero, again, because they are focused, if you do want payroll, you will need to add it on with their Gusto. So Gusto is a separate payroll provider. That is who they, partner with. Now, personally, Gusto is really one of the best payroll providers. I've mentioned them in a lot of my other payroll software videos. So if you're going to be paying employees and managing that through your accounting software, then you can use Gusto through Xero, which is very nice, and it is compliant in many regions. So you don't have to worry about if you're in this country or state, especially in the United States, what states are available. Gusto pretty much has everything available. So that's one of the nice features there because Xero does have that direct integration with Gusto. So again, if you're going to be paying employees, that is another benefit too within Xero. In terms of picking them for your business. So again, it really comes down to which one is maybe necessarily better for you. In terms of other features within Xero, you can accept payments, set up online invoicing, bank connections. You can integrate other apps, expenses, like I mentioned with payroll with Gusto. You also have the reporting features, quoting. They do also have inventory tracking, things like that. Yeah, so again, their dashboard, you can really see it here too. It is just a bit more simplified than Zoho, but Zoho Books can still be a good option in terms of what they offer within the platform. Again, you also have the invoicing, quotes, bills, and managing projects and things like that. Again, it is just a little bit more expensive with Zoho or Zoho Books compared to Xero on their more basic version. Really, the biggest thing to me is just the type of accounting that you plan on doing. Learning, single entry versus double entry. And then also, if you're going to be outsourcing it, that's one big thing too with the amount of users. So Xero gives you a lot more users on the opening version. On the early version, you can have a lot more users inside the software, compared to the amount of users that you have within Zoho Books is a little bit more limited. In terms of the actual, users, you see you have only 3 users there, up to 5 users, limited within the setup. So again, if you have an accountant, cool, then you can use that on the free version too. But you are just a little bit more limited versus with Xero, it becomes a lot more unlimited as you continue to go up the pricing plans, whereas Zoho kind of keeps you at certain set limits as you're increasing to try and get you, maybe to pay for a more expensive plan if that's what you need or want. So, just depends. That's not necessarily a big thing, but it is something worth keeping in mind when you're looking at the different accounting softwares. In general, my preference would probably be with Xero myself if I had to pick between the two. I do still like Zoho Books, and it is a good free option if you're looking for something free. There are also a lot of other free accounting softwares out there. I've done plenty of other videos on the channel as well. Again, maybe if you're looking for other software integrations, then Zoho could be a good option, whereas Xero is really just purely focused around accounting. But because of that, Xero, just the simplicity of the dashboard to me is a little bit better than Zoho Books. Again, if you do want to check out either of the companies, again, whether it be Xero or Zoho Books, there are links down below in the description. Again, you can try Xero for free on a Xero free trial, or you can even just sign up for free with Zoho Books as well, or start a free trial of the Zoho Books premium plans. Again, guys, I hope you found this video helpful comparing Xero and Zoho Books. If you did, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that is all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.